Today's lesson, we're going to solve linear systems by multiplying. The goal for today is create the opposite variables so that we can eliminate them like we did yesterday. So again, I've got a couple examples of what opposite variables look like and things that are not opposite variables. And so for some of your steps to solve these systems by elimination using multiplication, first of all, you need to figure out which variables do you want to make opposites. Then you have to decide, are you going to multiply one or both of the rows by a number to get those opposites? Once you have the opposites, you can eliminate and solve, and then plug your answer in to find the other variable. Let's take a look at an example. If I want to solve using elimination, my x's are not opposites, nor are my y variables. So let's say I wanted to eliminate the x's. Well, the x's have a 3x. So for example, if I had a 3x, then I would also want to have an opposite of negative 3x. If I look at the y's, I have a 2y and a 5y. I need to think of a common multiple of 2 and 5, such as 10. So I would say, okay, well, I need to make one row a 10x. The other row would have to be the opposite, which would be negative 10x. So now I need to decide, do I want to multiply the x's or do I want to multiply and get the y's to be opposites? If you notice, the x's already have the 3x. I just need to get the negative 3x. However, with the y's, I had to multiply both rows to get the 10s. So I'm going to say, let's go for the x's. And I need to then multiply this row by a negative 3 so that I get that negative 3x. So I'm going to write down the first equation. Okay, we're going to leave that be. So we're going to have our 3x plus the 2y equals 46. Okay, and then we're going to multiply that second row by the negative 3. So negative 3 times x gives me negative 3x. Whoa. Negative 3 times the 5y is going to give me the negative 15y. And don't forget to distribute to the last one. Negative 3 times 11 is negative 33. All right, so because we have now multiplied both of those rows, or well, we just multiplied the one row, but we can now see that we have our opposite variables. And now that we have our opposite variables, we can eliminate. So I can eliminate the x's. They're going to cancel out to 0. 2y, that was minus 15y. That gives me negative 13y. 46 minus 33 gives me 13. So negative 13 times what number is positive 13? Well, that would be negative 1. All right, so now that I have my one variable, we need to substitute that in to one of the original equations. So I'm going to substitute negative 1 into the y on one of the equations. I'm going to always use the first one. You could use the second one if you wanted to. So I can solve for the x. So I'm going to say 3x plus 2 of the y's, but we now know that the y can be substituted with a negative 1 and that has to equal 46. Okay, so I get 3x minus 2 equals 46, and now I'm going to solve for the x by adding the 2 over, and I get 3x equals 48. The inverse of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide by 3. 48 divided by 3 is 16. So our final answer as an ordered pair is 16, negative 1. Okay, let's look at the next example. Again, I want to use elimination. I want to look for opposites. Okay, so if I look at my x's and I look at my y's, I want to get opposite variables. Well, I need to find a common multiple of 4 and 5. So a common multiple of 4 and 5 would be 20. So for example, I would want to have a 20x and I would want to have a negative 20x. If I look at the y's, I've got again a 4 and a 5. Common multiple of 4 and 5 would be a 20. So again, I would want like a 20y and a negative 20y. So either way, I'm going to have to multiply both of the rows. So let's go ahead and go for the y's, since the last example we eliminated the x's. So now I need to multiply this row by what so that this turns into a 20y? Well, I would need to multiply that row by a 5. So distribute that 5 through. That would give you a 25x plus a 16y. Distribute the 5 to the 9. That's going to multiply to give you 45. All right, and then I need to figure out, like, what am I going to multiply this row by so that this 5y turns into the negative 20. So 5 times what is negative 20? Negative 4. Distribute that through. So we have negative 16x minus, oh, look at that, I've got my error here. That should say 20y. Okay, negative 4 times the 5 is negative 20y. Negative 4 times the 9 gives me negative 36. All right, so this way I can again see, hey, here are my opposites. So now I can eliminate them. That's not what I meant to do. Okay, those are going to eliminate. 25x minus 16x is going to give me 9x. 45 minus 36 is going to give me 9. 9 times what number is 9? 1. Okay, so now I'm going to take that answer and I'm going to sub it into the x on one of the original equations. I'm coming back to this original equation and I'm going to plug in a 1 for the x. So we're going to say 5 times 1 plus the 4y equals 9, and then we're going to solve. So I get 5 plus 4y equals 9. To solve for the 4y, let's subtract the 5 over. Those cancel. 4 times what number is 4? That means the y has to be 1. So final answer is 1, 1. Okay, let's try one more example. All right, if I want to eliminate the x's, I have a 2 and I have a 1. So let's say we want to make them choose. I would need a 2x, and then I would want the other row to be a negative 2x. If I wanted to eliminate the y's, I would want a common multiple of 2 and 4. So I could say a common multiple of 2 and 4 would be 4 or 8. You could choose, you could say 12. But let's say we went with the 4. Since there's already a 4, I would be able to multiply that first row by something to get the negative 4. And then this one would have to be the opposite. So again, you get to choose. Do you want to eliminate the x's? Do you want to eliminate the y's? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to say, let's go for the x's this time. So the first equation, I already have the positive 2x. So I'm going to go ahead and just write that down again. Okay, but then I need to ask myself, what do I want to multiply this row by? What do I need to multiply this by so that I get the negative 2x? Well, I would need to multiply it by a negative 2. So distribute the negative 2 through. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times a 4y is going to give me a negative 8y. Negative 2 times negative 13 is going to be 26. Okay, so then again, this way I can see those opposites. There's my opposite, so now I can eliminate them. Okay, negative 2y minus 8y gives me negative 10y. 14 plus 26 is 40. You can do it in your head if you want, or the inverse of multiplication is division. Okay, so 40 divided by negative 10 is negative 4. So now I need to take this answer and I need to sub it into the y on one of the original equations. I'm going to sub it into the first equation. So I'm going to say 2x minus 2 of the y's, and now the y's are negative 4. And I'm going to set that equal to 14. So I get 2x, negative times a negative is a positive, so we're going to get a positive 8 here, equals 14. Let's subtract the 8 over. So I get 2x equals 6. 2 times what number is 6? 3. Right, your final answer is an ordered pair. So we get 3, negative 4. Your homework tonight is the reteach worksheet, which has 4 questions on it.